Sometimes it takes a village. Do you love helping others but find it difficult asking for or receiving help? Are you someone that likes to get things sorted out on your own, not because of pride, but because it will feel much easier? Are you tired because you have had to figure things out on your own? Does admitting that you need assistance feel harder than doing it alone? If any of that reverberates, this is for you. The quiet struggle of self-reliance. Many of us have built our identities around competence. You are the one who sorts things out, who shows up with solutions rather than problems, who makes it look effortless when it isn't. But there's a beautiful place of balance that you must find, because somewhere along the way, independence can quietly become isolation. You appear composed and capable from the outside, solving problems and projecting control. But beneath the "I've got this" front you put up out there, life can be tough and things can get hard or overwhelming. Make no mistake about this, needing support is simply part of being alive. Quite often, people go through life carrying more than they can handle, not because they must, but because admitting otherwise feels too risky. And in trying to protect yourself from the discomfort of asking, you may inadvertently shut out the very connections that would make your life lighter. To be clear, this is not a case of chronic dependency or entitlement. This is about the humble, courageous, and entirely reasonable act of saying, "I need some help right now." Why asking feels so hard? Understanding why we resist asking for help is a great step towards changing. For some, this difficulty can be linked to early experiences. Whether you are going through something challenging right now or having a bad day, you can learn to ask for help when you need it. Don't try to cope on your own. A little help will go a long way and make you feel better. Some reasons include the fear of rejection. This is perhaps the most common barrier. It can be embarrassing and quite painful. If you have reached out in the past and you got dismissed, criticized, or let down, it can lead to social exclusion. Asking for help equals vulnerability because you would have to admit to a struggle, a need, or something you cannot supply for yourself. And if the answer is no, or worse, if the response is dismissive, it might feel personal even if that wasn't the intention. Over time, this can spiral into overthinking, a low self-esteem, withdrawn behavior that decides it is better to suffer in silence. You may begin to decide that it is better to suffer in silence than risk public rejection, or believe that the safer option is to stay quiet, even when asking would make a genuine difference. The fear of being a burden. This is in some way more insidious because it is rooted in care for others. You find yourself in the space where you do not want to be a burden to others. This one I can relate with particularly. You notice that the people around you are navigating their own pressures, their own seasons of difficulty. You do not want to add to that. So, you minimize your own situation. You tell yourself it is not important enough to bother anyone with and carry on alone. This is an act of love in its way, but it can also become a habit that cuts you off from reciprocity and genuine connection. The fear of appearing weak. These taps into something deeply social. In many cultures and environments, vulnerability is not just uncomfortable, it is actively discouraged. Strength is equated with independence. Openness is read as inadequacy. No one wants to openly display weakness, so asking for help can feel like admitting you are less capable than you have presented yourself to be. So, you protect your image at the expense of your well-being, perfectionism, and the need for control. These closes the loop. When you hold yourself to relentlessly high standards Admitting you need assistance can feel like evidence of failure. You keep waiting to handle it on your own terms, on your own timeline, until the situation escalates and it becomes overwhelming. The drive to be self-sufficient, taken too far, becomes a kind of pride that isolates rather than empowers. Giving yourself permission. Permission changes behavior, a genuine internal decision to allow yourself to ask for and receive help without apology. This may feel uncomfortable at first. That is normal. Most things worth doing require a period of discomfort before they become natural. But the discomfort of asking is temporary, while the relief of receiving support, emotional, practical, or otherwise, can be lasting. When you are ready to reach out, it helps to be thoughtful about what you need. Are you looking for someone to listen without offering advice? Do you need practical assistance, a lift somewhere, coverage at work, help with a task? Are you seeking perspective on a situation you have been too close to see clearly? Being specific about what you need not only makes it easier for someone to help you, but it also signals to them that you have thought this through and are not simply offloading anxiety. It transforms the conversation from a plea to a form of partnership. Think also about who you are reaching out to. Your support network is likely broader than you realize. Some options to explore include family, close friends, a spiritual community, a therapist or counselor, professional advisors, mentors, work colleagues, your classmates, legal advisors, medical practitioners, or organizations designed specifically to help in such circumstances. The right person to reach out to depends entirely on the nature of what you are facing, and there is wisdom in matching the need to the resource. If confidentiality matters to you, say so before the conversation begins, and allow the other person to tell you honestly whether that is something they can offer. Have realistic expectations. Respect their time and space. And when someone shows up for you, in whatever way they are able, let them know what their support meant. Gratitude is not just good manners. It deepens relationships and makes people more willing to be present for you again in the future. What you stand to gain. The reluctance to ask for help often focuses on what might go wrong. But it is worth pausing to consider what regularly goes wrong when you don't ask. The burnout, the isolation, the problems that could have been solved sooner with a different set of eyes. Here is what becomes possible when you allow yourself to seek support, new perspectives, and better decisions. We are all limited by our own viewpoints and the experiences that have shaped them. Asking for help opens a window to how someone else sees your situation, and they may notice something you have been too close to see. Other perspectives do not just offer comfort, they offer information. They can shift the direction of your decisions and genuinely improve your outcomes. Deeper and more honest relationships. Vulnerability, when it is offered with intention and received with care, is one of the most powerful forces for connection between people. When you let someone help you, you are trusting them, and that trust, when honored, becomes the foundation of something real. Asking for help does not diminish your relationships, it transforms them. Relieves stress and worry. There is a reason people say that a problem shared is a problem halved. When you are carrying something alone, it expands in the silence. Articulating it to someone else often reduces its power, and practically speaking, the burden of solving it is no longer yours alone to bear. Accelerated growth and learning. Growth does not come only from the knowledge you possess. When you ask questions, you admit what you don't know and invite others to contribute their expertise or experience. You learn at a pace you simply cannot match alone, which instantly allows you thrive. Better mental and emotional health. By being open to seeking help, you demonstrate self-awareness and a willingness to prioritize your physical and mental well-being. Isolation feeds anxiety. Talking to someone decreases the feelings of confusion, worry, and emotional overwhelm that come from navigating difficulty in silence. You are not alone in this. There is a particular kind of courage in asking for help. It requires you to override your instinct to protect yourself, to extend trust before you know whether it will be honored, and to admit, even briefly, that you do not have it all figured out. Sometimes it genuinely takes a village, and it is okay. The challenges we face in life, whether emotional, relational, financial, professional, physical, are rarely things we were designed to navigate in isolation. The people who love you will recognize the bravery it takes to reach out, and most of them will be glad you did. Remember, you are not alone in this journey, and having a great support system can make a huge difference in your life. Take the step at your own pace. You do not have to reach out to everyone. Start small if that feels right. The road to asking for help may feel difficult, but the one you are walking on alone may be more difficult. You do not have to do it alone. You never did. Hey, thank you for listening to my channel. If this message resonates with you, like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I look forward to seeing you again soon.